Hi, 志宇。
Pretty good. How about you? Oh, with your mom and stuff? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're here for each other. Yeah. Yeah, my mom was just visiting, and I was really like trying to pay so much attention to her because just like we just never know as our parents are getting older, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's see.
Accompaniment.
Check 1, 2, check. Ike po e ao me oe ke po ho I mai ao e loa ka helena ma ke ala hele e puri I wahi ma ke ao Now popo ao I ke ho'i ka home loko ku'u vai ua ho'i mai ao ke ike nei ao a ole ao ana ho ke mapopo he Hawaii ao Ike po e ao me oe ke po ua ho'i mai ao he loa ka helena ma ke ala hele e huli I wahi ma ke ao Mau popo au ua I ke ho'i e koe I ko o ku'u vai ua ho'i mai au ke ike nei au a ole au ana ho ke mapopo he Hawaii au Thank you. kali mai oe e ka ue he ane e kali mai oe ia une o wau I hono me ke aloha Pehe mai ke alaula o liliko nei li hao e ho o helo ana I nea papalina Iu ka omana I ka iu uhi wai Malaila no ka ua e pili mawai Malaila no ka ua e pili mawai Ahe aloha Ahe aloha Ahe aloha Ahe aloha Getting bit. Thank you. They bite me when I can't scratch them. Thank you. About, you think it's about time? Yeah. In a little bit. One more. Okay. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you. Good.
Kalana mai nei, a'o ulu palakua, e niki ahi ahi, ka mea o paniola. Akele mai ku'ulei, a'o ulu palakua, ona me ka awapua. Evehi ku'ulei A'o ulu palakua Ona ona meka avapuhi Ei nane maule no Aina mai kapuana A'o ulu palakua Ei niki niki ahi ahi Ka homea o paniolo Aina mai kapuana A'o ulu palakua Ei niki niki ahi ahi Ka homea o paniolo
Thank you. Maybe one more. Oh, thank you. I actually hurt my finger and it's hard for me to do my instrumentals today. Also makes me sing. One more. Okay. Okay.
Great. Yay.
Thank you guys.
Welcome, Kendall. Thank you so much for beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning music. Welcome to Vital Living, Spiritual Organizations Sunday, third Sunday gathering. for those of you who haven't been here, we have a little tiny song that we start the gathering with, and Kendall and I are gonna share it with you. It's very simple. We love it if you join along, and it's just maybe 4 lines, right? It's just share your love, clear the static away, embrace the vital in your life today. Vital living, vital way, mahalo, mahalo, aloha e. So it just really is about what's Vital Living Spiritual Organization is about. It's really about sharing our love to the community, for ourselves and for others, and then really clearing all that other stuff away, the stuff that sometimes distracts us or blocks us from really being our best empowered self that we can be, and then really allowing vital, essential energy into our lives in a vital way, vital living, to live vitally and be vital, and then really in appreciation, right? Mahalo, thank you. Such gratefulness for everything in our lives, and then giving love. So let's start. Okay. We'll do it 3 times. Share your love, clear the static away. Embrace the vital in your life today. Vital living, vital way. Mahalo, mahalo, aloha e. Share your love, clear the static away. Embrace the vital in your life today. Vital living, vital way. Mahalo, mahalo, aloha e. Share your love, clear the static away. Embrace the vital in your life today. Vital living, vital way. Mahalo, mahalo, aloha e. Thank you. Thank you, Scandal. Yay. Our little drummer, Papa Ginger Heath. Okay. Oh, welcome, welcome. Wow, we just had our little song. I heard you kind of singing on the way, maybe. No. Okay. So every month on the 3rd Sunday at 10:30, we used to have it in the afternoon, but now we're having it sort of right in the morning. So thanks for getting up and being with us. And we have a different sort of theme every Sunday, and a different person that's sort of organizing it or curating it, we'd like to say. So this Sunday we have one of our wonderful ambassadors, Corey, who's going to be sharing for the first hour, and then the second hour we've sort of transformed our gatherings into a community time for people to gather and share and help support each other and what we're all doing here, and being able to share some food. People have brought some wonderful, nourishing delights on the table, and there's some coconut orange from the farm, coconut water, orange, mint, tiny little bit of that purple butterfly pea, I think it is, flour in the punch, and then some Kangen water, and lots of other goodies on the table, and then we have some kalo actually that we just harvested this morning. So there's some things to share, answer questions, and talk about vital living a little bit. And for those of you that are just joining live stream, or for those of you who haven't been here before, Vital Living is a spiritual nonprofit. It was based here. It's with Nicole McNamara and myself. I'm Lori Kimata, and we created this spiritual nonprofit with the intention of really creating educational programs for the community, and to actually create practitioners that can help perpetuate the philosophy and the teachings of living vitally and living essentially in our nature of what empowers us most and what allows us to live our full vital lives, our lives that are really creating what is meant for our truth, and to share that with others in the community and for our families and friends and globally. That's our intention. So that's coming up. We're working on curriculum actually for our program that we'll be hopefully launching next year. So that's our Vital Living professional educational program. And we've had themes for the last whole year, and we have some new faces all the time. So we're really excited to keep exploring this. Today's theme, I'm just going to introduce it, and then Corey's going to get right up here and start exploring it with you a little deeper. And today's theme is actually about seeds of change. So we also have a newsletter, and every month it's been inspiring because I've all my readings and my card readings and everything else, and I'm supposed to write more. And so now I'm sort of like allowed to, or it's not forcing me, but it's pushing me gently, encouraging me to write every month. And so this month for Seeds of Change, I was thinking about, and whoever read the newsletter might have already seen this, but I was thinking about change and transformation. And we've had a little written about change and transformation before. And I started thinking about what seeds of transformation or seeds of change really means to me. And here, as we're little farmers, my husband likes to call it the H&M farming, or I think it's called the hit and miss, because we're starting to we're learning a lot about it, and we're like, yeah, that worked this time. Okay, that didn't work this time. Well, we'll see how it works better the next time, and we keep learning. And when we're throwing seeds into the ground, or when we're planting seeds into our bed, we're like, I've been always in awe at how plants, like my little shiso plant in the garden, has thousands of seeds, right? And sometimes thousands of seeds are spread into the ground, and then one shiso plant grows, right? Or maybe not even one shiso plant. So this time I didn't do anything. I was just like, okay, shiso grows when it wants to grow. And the shiso plant, the seeds all dropped. And now there's literally hundreds of little shiso plants in the garden. And I'm thinking, now, why did those seeds make it? And last time they didn't? And what is it all about? And there's so many factors to thinking about why seeds make it for change and transformation in our lives, right? And for me, I was thinking it's a lot about the soil, right? It's a lot about the foreground, the ground that we plant these seeds in, and how nourished is that soil, and how strong is that soil, and is that soil just the right makeup for those seeds that are going into it? Why is the shiso growing now when it didn't grow the other time? I planted cilantro seeds before, and they don't grow sometimes, they do grow, and we're learning more and more about what is it in the soil and what time of year and all those things. So when you're looking at your own life for what is it that we need to do in our lives for that vital change to really seed and sprout and grow into an amazing, empowering plant, whatever it is. So I think Carrie's going to talk first. It sounds like, or say something first. So introducing Carrie and then Corey. Thank you so much.
Hi guys. I haven't actually prepared anything. I was like, I'm just gonna wing it today, but oh, you hear me? Oh, thank you. It's a little taller than Lori. But I just thought, just to piggyback on what Dr. Lori was saying, I was thinking about just how we are in this transitional time, and everyone can feel it, and it can feel very disorientating. It can feel exciting. It can feel more like anxiety, just a little bit like what I've been feeling lately, just that kind of turmoil, that inner turmoil about we know change is coming, but what's next? And that can be really uncomfortable, and it can also be really exciting. But I think really just remembering that we are participating in what is unfolding, not necessarily in control of it, but we are definitely co-creating with what is unfolding in our own lives and the world around us. So just remembering we can take a deep breath, we can exhale, we can come back to our grounded place, to our safe space, whatever that is for us, and just knowing that is in our own body. So remembering to let that breath really get deep into that base, into that root, into that belly. So everybody just taking a nice deep breath on their own. And as deep as it is, don't worry if it's hard or it feels constricted. I always say it really helps to just focus on our exhales when we're trying to deep breathe. Letting out those big sigh, the big exhale. Our audible sigh, that extended exhale, is the fastest way to let the body and the brain know that everything is okay. This is how we let our nervous system know that we are safe, we are good, we are solid. There is nothing to worry about. There is nothing to try to control or grasp for. We're not in survival. So just remembering that you can always come back to that foundation, which is our breath, and using our breath as well to become conscious participants in what's unfolding. So we have this amazing creative force always at work. And I think that's a lot of times what we're feeling when we feel excitement and anxiety, right? Like if you feel about all of those beautiful dreams and visions and hopes and ideas and whatever it is that you want to bring to the world, or whatever's inspiring you, and it tends to swirl and collect in that sacral, in that belly, right, in our feminine force, and then the owl. And then being able to breathe into that space and kind of listen to it, see what it's letting you know, see what it's wanting to create into your external environment or participate in that external environment. And then bringing it up to that heart, to that place of our center, to our place of action, but inspired action, heart-centered action is so, so important. But remembering that if we're not grounded, if we're not fully landed in this place, it can be challenging to have that inspired action versus reaction, right? So just gonna have everybody close your eyes, just tune into your own body. Just go ahead and notice what is. We're not trying to shift or change anything, just seeing. Right now, I feel a little bit anxious, so I'm just going to breathe into that, just be with that. And just taking nice, gentle, slow inhales through the nose. Don't worry about how deep they are right now, just letting them come in as they are and just focusing on that nice extended exhale, maybe letting out a sound or a sigh on that exhale. And do that as many times as it takes to sort of feel like you've landed. Opening into the soles of the feet, feel as if an eye is opening there in the soles of the feet. Just really connecting to the earth beneath. And you can do that through the root as well, just taking a nice full inhalation, as full as it is, and just maybe hold that for a moment, maybe even doing a gentle pull of those foundational muscles. On the exhale, just let it all go, let it open. And just become really rooted, really grounded, feeling that connection that's always there, but just tuning into it, maybe feeling as if that energy of the earth is breathing with you through the soles of the feet, through the root, through your foundation. Feeling those roots winding down through the grass, through the soil, through all the layers of the bedrock. And just consciously now connecting with her, with that earth that supports us, nourishes us, sustains us. And just allow her to draw those roots deeper and deeper into the core of the earth, into her heart, into her womb. And with the breath, draw up that safety, that nurture, that warmth, that mother energy. Let it go. And just feeling fully landed and just placing now maybe one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, just connecting with that divine feminine force there and the Na'al there in the belly, there in that creative center. Breathing into that space, maybe even feeling that gentle compression of the belly as it presses into that hand. On the exhale, feel it release, feel it contract. And staying in this rotation, whatever it is for you, whether it's nice and slow or full and deep, but just let it be as consistent and easy as it can be. Let go of the trying. We're just allowing the belly to fill, allowing that energy to expand up into the heart, into the rib cage. On the exhale, you can just let it fall out of the mouth. And now just consciously, as you're breathing fully into that belly, feeling that extension, that expansion in the belly, maybe take another little breath on top, bringing it up like an elevator up into the rib cage, into the heart, feeling the ribs expand, and hold it there. Not up into the shoulders, but into the spaces between the ribs, just holding that energy, letting it build and swirl and collect, letting it be in that center. And on the exhale, open the heart. And on your next round, as you're filling up the belly and as you're filling up the heart space, just letting that energy, that breath, hold there for a moment as it expands the rib cage, and just bring a gentle focus there into the back of the heart. And on the exhale, open the back of the heart. Beautiful. And just staying with your nice, easy breath, inflating, releasing, expanding, contracting, just falling into a gentle rhythm that feels good for you. And go ahead and just soften into the space between the eyes, the forehead melting open, maybe feeling again like an eye is opening there, letting the eyebrow slide down the sides of the face, letting all the tension of the muscles, letting the skin and the muscles just rest there on the bones of the face, opening, breathing in through the palms of the hands, soles of the feet, through every pore in the body, through the crown, Maybe with the breath, again, filling up and allowing that energy to rise from the base of the belly, up the spine, meeting that point at the top of this crown, just on the exhale whenever you're ready, opening like a flower. And just feeling that nourishment, that oxygen as it washes through the brain, through the glands. And allow that on the exhale just to open your own inner vision, just connecting with that creative force that rides on the breath, but is also already existing within that true essence. And just allow it to speak to you for a moment. I'll just be silent for just a moment, just allowing any messages or awareness or pictures or sounds or feelings just to come into your awareness, just coming into a place of witness and listening. And go ahead now and just connect to whatever naturally, spontaneously comes up, but just with the intention of something that you would like to plant in your own life. And that can be for you personally, just in your own rhythms or actions or patterns, or it could just be something that you know that you are meant to assist to bring into the world. But just landing on one thing for now. And when you have it, just notice what feelings kind of come up with that. And again, we're just watching, witnessing, listening. But holding that vision there in your mind's eye and holding those feelings, maybe exhaling any feelings that are less than doubts or worries or am I enough or can I do it? Just letting go of those and just breathing in that nourishment, that support, that mother energy, and also that universal cosmic energy, allowing heaven and earth to merge and meet. Breathing into that beautiful vision. On the exhale, you can just release it, sending it out. And on the next inhale, again, just breathing in to that space, into that deep space in the belly. And on the exhale now, you can just release it through the soles of the feet, through the root. Imagine it just drifting like a shell down to the base of the sea floor, just allowing it to fall gently, noticing, watching, feeling how deep it goes down into the earth. And taking a nice, even, full inhale into the heart. And on the exhale, shining it out. And on the next round, just taking a nice deep inhale one more time into that space, into that vision, into those feelings. And then bring a second little breath on top, bringing it into the heart. And now imagine the heart becoming like a projector that you're flipping on the switch, and on the exhale, shining it out through the front of the heart, maybe through the back of the heart, just shining it out into this reality, into this world. Feeling those connections as that light travels out to all the beautiful people and opportunities and places and connections. And simultaneously through the soles of the feet, feeling those roots that we are always connected to, planted, just feeling those roots intertwined now with all the other roots of everyone in this space, everyone in this town, everyone on this island, all beings, all people, all plants, all creatures. And just feeling that interconnectedness, this network, this support, all of this generous assistance that is available for all of us to participate and to co-create with one another. And when you feel like that seed has been nurtured with all of that love and that support and that warmth and that heavenly chi, all potentials, all possibilities, you can gently just let go, open the eyes, just know that it will come in its appropriate way, in its appropriate time, through those appropriate channels, or maybe in a more beautiful, more aligned way than what we've envisioned. And just staying in this space as we move into our next chapter, which I believe will be with Corey. And thank you, guys.
Hello, beautiful people. Well, I'm so glad that Carrie started with the breath and that she tapped into helping us remember a different place to operate from, because I think so much about where we get stuck operating from is our sort of right brain logical, I have to make a pro and con list for everything to make a decision, but that's not true. We have intuition, we have other faculties available to us if we can tap into this heart-centered place. Honey, will you get Frankie? So I'm just going to kind of share my process with this gathering because I want it to be different for me, and I'm hoping that in doing that, it will be just a little bit different for you guys as well. I love to get inspired from my husband. He often will help me just take a concept or a subject that I'm going to teach on and kind of unpack it and really get to where I'm trying to get with it. And he said, so why did you pick Seeds of Change as the theme for March? And I go, I don't know. I think it kind of picked itself. It just popped into my mind as we were coming up with whatever our theme was going to be for the month that we chose. And there's a lot to be said about change. And there's a lot to be said about the concept of seeds of change. So much of my path, my growing, my journey has been always wanting to be open to other people's perspectives, other people's ideas, other people's ways, to not be so strict or I'm not finding the right word. So that was just part of who I am. But then when I found Ayurveda, it started to even further unravel belief systems that I had about life or about myself. Welcome. But today, I want to apologize to whomever said to me they're very excited to hear about Ayurveda, because I'm not going to talk a lot about Ayurveda. I actually want to just talk about the concept of change and a few areas that I think are very important for us to move towards as we're making change in our life. One is that place of where we operate from, that we remember that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, not human beings having a spiritual experience. And that we feel into our hearts and trust our own tuition and our own connection to each other and to the earth that we live on to be able to make those decisions. I have to look at my notes because I'm also nervous. And I see you guys all the time, and there's like only 10 of us here. But why am I nervous? I don't know. It's this thing, I think. It's the standing with a microphone. Oh my God. Yeah, why don't I change it up a little bit? But not with the microphone. Does everybody hear me? No, microphone needs for that. Okay. I want to talk about our reality and how we operate in it and how we make those choices and how we interact with each other. That we start to, and it's like, you know, the term speaking to the choir. You are the choir. You guys are living a totally different reality than most of the world, right? We have different beliefs, and we don't all have the same beliefs even here, but they seem to be different than mainstream media. And so already we're kind of in a very protected bubble. And so if I'm saying anything that you already do, please don't be offended. Yeah. Oh, is it blocking me? So I'm going to just tell a little story and hope that it'll bring me back to where I'm trying to get to. In coming up with or thinking about this talk today, I was like, what are some of the movements that we can do? What are practices that you can do in your life to help you shift how you're thinking about things and how you're making your decisions? And yoga is part of Ayurveda, so I always kind of tap into that grounding aspect of my practice. And Ardha Matsyendrasana. Does anybody know what that is? No. Ardha Matsyendrasana is called half Lord of the Fishes pose, and it's our spinal twist. And for all of the asana, there's mythology that goes with it. There's a story behind it. So I'm going to share the story behind Ardha Matsyendrasana. There was a king, Matsyendrasan, and he was sort of a bad guy. He didn't really rule his kingdom from the right place, right? He was taking too much from the land and not giving back, and taking too much from his people and not giving back. And so there was a spell cast upon him, and he was thrown into the Ganges River. And from in the Ganges, now he was swimming below the water, below the surface, and he started to see his kingdom, his world from a different perspective. And he changed his thinking, he changed his ways, and through that perspective, that different perspective that he was able to see from beneath the water versus always looking down at the water, it's what helped him to change how he was operating. And so that's the key behind our spinal twist, is that it puts your body in a position to see and perceive things from a different perspective. So we're all going to just have a little spinal twist. All right, so sitting up nice and tall. And sitting in a way that whatever platform you're sitting on, you can feel your bony protuberances, your sit bones, touching the ground or the chair. And I want you just to wiggle a little side to side. And almost as if those were plugs plugging into a socket, I want you to plug into your base. And from that base, I want you to find length all the way up through your spine. And as you come into the heart, let the shoulders fall back and down a little bit. Moving into the throat, let your jaw and your tongue sort of relax. The tongue can fall away from the roof of the mouth. Let the space around your ears, your eyes, and your nose soften. And then take 3 breaths as you inhale, pulling up from your sits bone space all the way up to the crown of your head. And then exhale all the way back down to that connected space. We're just going to take 3 deep breaths. We're going to keep breathing always with more intention and awareness. Inhaling up to the crown of the head. And exhaling down. One more time together. Deep, full breath in all the way up to the very top of your head. And this time, maybe even breathe a little bit higher than the crown of your head. And then exhale all the way down. Good. So we're going to take our left hand to the top of our right knee and your right hand to your sacrum. And at first, I want you just to rub your sacrum a little bit, create some heat there. Rubbing up and down. And then you're going to take the base of your palm and gently push it into the top of your sacrum, and notice how that kind of helps your heart to lift. And then take another deep breath in here. And this time as you exhale, you're going to turn, starting your turn from your low belly over towards the right, and continue that spin until you're looking back over your right shoulder. And I want everybody to keep their eyes open. And I want you to look at something behind you, or maybe even to the side of you. This is a space that we don't usually look at. We're always looking up here at the stage. So let's just get a new perspective on the Anahulu Farms. Take a couple more breaths here. I think a lot of times in yoga classes, teachers will use the phrase, we're wringing out the spine, which is an okay, it's a beautiful example. I'm not going to hate on that. it's not exactly what's happening, but there is some compression and release happening to the spine and the spinal nerves, which helps new energy flood into that space, into this column that supports you, this column that moves energy all around your body. So look at one more thing behind you in a new way. Take another deep breath in. And then on the exhale, go ahead and slowly unwind, coming back to the center. Good. Now close your eyes for just a moment. Oh. Gray van, blocking the driveway. Honda Odyssey, gray. Oh, we have a winner. No problem. Sorry to keep you stuck. All right. So now close your eyes and bring to mind something that you have just been grappling with, something that you've been struggling with that you really need to find a new perspective on. Maybe if it's a reaction that you have, maybe it's an imbalance that you're trying to work through. Maybe it's a homework that you're trying to get through. Good. All right, so just hold that in your mind for a second. Take another deep breath in, and now bring your right hand to the top of your left knee and your left hand to your sacrum, and give that area a little gentle rub. Press the palm of your hand into the top of the sacrum. Lift your heart up just a little bit. Take another breath. And then on the exhale, slowly gliding to the left to look back over your left shoulder. And wow, look at that. All kinds of things we haven't seen before. I see a Buddha that I've never seen before. I see a plant I've never seen before. And how, in this perspective, looking at the things you're looking at, can you gain new perspective on that thing you've been struggling with? How can this position unlock some new wisdom for you? Maybe it's immediate, maybe it will come later, as Carrie shared. Continue to breathe deep into your belly. And with each exhalation, see if you can turn and look just a little bit more behind you. Take one more breath here. And then use an exhalation to slowly turn and come back to center. Okay, so that's a little Ardha-Matsyendrasana wisdom. I'm going to share one more story. I was walking in the park this week, and I ran into a friend of mine who I see pretty often, and she's got a lot going on, right? She's got a business, she's doing a lot of community activism, and she's stressed. And she was sharing with me that throughout that day, she had been on a roller coaster of emotions. That in the morning, she found out that she got a big purchase and a big deposit into her bank account. And then she went out to start a car and her car didn't start. So she went from here to here. And then she found out that a friend of hers was coming to visit her and she rocketed back up. And then she got a flat tire and she went back down. And so it was just all day long. And I was like, whoa, like that's so rough on your nervous system. And so how can we glide right through the center? How can we find equanimity that we're not so affected by the highs and the lows in our life that we just can maintain the sense of peace? So now I want to kind of reflect back to you guys and just see, can anybody share with us, with this group, how you maintain equanimity or how you are facilitating change in your life? It just be a little short share. Does anybody want to share? Yes. Acceptance. Beautiful. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm going to pause there and just talk to that for 1 second, because there's when we learn Ayurveda, we learn about these rishis. They're called the Sapta Rishi, and they went to sit in the caves with a question in their heart of how they could help humanity, because at the time Dharma was lost, and Dharma is our duty, and the specific Dharma they were talking to, and my Pitta lovely Ayurveda friend in the back, if I say this word wrong, be gentle with me. It's called Santatarna Dharma, and it means acceptance of what is. And that specific aspect of Dharma had been lost. We were too much in the ego and judging, oh, that guy shouldn't be doing that. Oh my gosh, did you see what that person did? Did you see that? and just coming back to this place of acceptance that we're all here as beautiful beings doing the very best that we can. We're all at different places in our lives. We're all at different places in our evolution. And it's that Dharma. We have to come back to that ability to accept that we're all here doing our best to move forward and healing our planet and changing the paradigm that we live in on this planet, that we came here to beam light beams across the universe, that this place is a place of acceptance, that we didn't come here to harp on each other. We didn't come here to struggle. We didn't come here to suffer. We came here to accept and expand our lights. All right, so what else? Khalees. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love that surrender and acceptance are our two main words so far, and that change in the body is governed by Pitta. And Pitta's medicine is acceptance and surrender. Anybody else want to share? Yes, Allie. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, beautiful. Allie is getting ready to move off island. So she's going through a lot of, surrender and acceptance of what is. Anybody else want to share? Yes, please. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful, beautiful. The breath is the only thing that's happening right now. It's the only thing that we control. I just recently listened to a wonderful podcast from a group called Alpha Veda, and the podcast was entitled "The Nature of Reality." And they talked to so many concepts that I think I believe in, but are hard to sort of come to terms with. And one of them was that time doesn't exist, right? There is no past, there's no present, there's no future. It's all happening right now. And I started to think, okay, well, if my future self has all of these things that I'm really desiring, can't I just cut a line between the two parallel timelines and merge them? And we can do that through being with our breath, always being with our breath. It keeps us in this moment. The breath is the only thing that's happening right now. Okay, anybody else want to share? Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. You guys are all talking to the same thing, and that's the idea that we control our own reality, right? Through the things that we consume, through our five senses, whether it's foods, conversations, the news channel that we're watching. That's all influencing how we project our world. And when we remember that we're all love, we can accept everybody's path, we can choose from our heart, we can stay with our breath, we can surrender to the moment, then we can start to shift our reality. And I think, I mean, like, you guys, like, look at where we are, look at the reality that we've created for ourselves. But we need to start sharing this with other people. We need to start helping, by example, the world to start shifting into a different paradigm. And we can see that happening all over the place. So, honey, I'm going to ask you, and I know you don't want me to, but what am I missing? What am I forgetting from our conversations that might be important for us to touch on? Let it go. Okay. Yes, please.
Well, it was popping into my head, and then it was like perfect because it wasn't separate to anything anybody said, but just like in addition to. But exactly, like when you can pause, be grateful, surrender, accept, and focus on the breath, then you're open to see the opportunity in even the shitty things that happen.
Mhm,
So like
mhm.
my car broke down on Friday, I was telling you, and I like wanted to go into like some drama about it, and then I just was like, oh, this is like good. This is like for a reason. I had to cancel my work for the day, which like brought up other emotions, and then I went surfing. I had this crazy emotional release that I needed to have that I wasn't thinking my skills to have. Like I had the best day, and like I've had the best eating since then. So it's like if I couldn't just stop and be in that moment, I wouldn't have even been available for
Mhm,
any of this
mhm.
to happen.
Beautiful. Yes.
I'm in DBT, and there's like an actual thing called stop, like STOP, where it's like you have to stop, take a break, observe what's really going on. Like I make up things in my head, there's stories that I tell
Mhm,
myself that must be true.
mhm.
Stop, observe, and the key is to perceive mindfully, like actually
Wow.
taking that break, taking that breath, taking that moment to accept and surrender, and then perceive mindfully.
Wow.
STOP.
Beautiful. Thank you for.
Actually think about eating in a way.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah. I learned from a therapist friend of mine that so much of our responses we learn like in the first. I think I might dramatize it and make it less than it really is. Like the first 4 days or 4 weeks of our life, that's when we actually imprint how we're going to respond to everything in the world going forward. Something like that, Dr. Lori. Maybe it's 4 years. I don't know. It's early. It's early, and so we're kind of swimming upstream as we go into our world. We have this baggage already that we got to just let go of. That we don't have to blame anybody. And Carrie, you're just so on point always, but bringing us back to the point that changes our ability to change easily is a choice. And it's the stop, it's the remembering to breathe, it's that every opportunity is a positive opportunity. It's just a position, a perspective that we want to live our lives from. If I fall and break my leg or my toe, that's a lesson. That's an opportunity for me to find rest, right? It's all for us. There's nothing impossible. We can achieve anything that we want, even the things that seem impossible, like time travel. Or I laugh a little, but I'm serious. I'm serious that these things are possible. Um, okay, I think I've rambled on enough, and I think I've made my point. Um, and that is just that all is well that bends well, and to find flexibility in your actions in your life so that we can make change with grace. And now I would like to invite up my lovely, beautiful friend, Jasmine, who is going to speak with us. And when she shared with me like what her take on and how she was going to talk about the concept of change, she sent like flower arrows into my heart because it's so potent to this group. We live here, we love here, and we all want to offer something back to this land, this space that we call home. And there's a lot of different thoughts on us living and being here in Hawaii, in a land that isn't native to most of us. So I'd like to invite Jasmine. Please come up and share your wisdom.
This is so divine based off of what sis, remind me your name one more time. Carrie, what you shared to what Corey shared, it was really just like the most divine teeing up for this. I don't want to say uncomfortable conversation, but this conversation that carries a lot of mana. And then my baby fell asleep. So I'm like, all right, mahalo akua. He's setting the pathway. Yeah, I want to actually kind of shift things up a bit on how we, and we meaning my partner and I, Elijah, through Awakened Aloha, how we typically facilitate these conversations. It's usually through very structured protocol. But I'm feeling a little different. I love the intimacy of the space and really just the spirit here. So I would actually like to share and kind of kick off this conversation on my story and experience as someone who is a settler here in Hawaii, if that's okay. Yes, okay. So I was activated by this energy that is and exists within this aina of Hawaii through Mauna Awakea, which is the highest peak of any mountain in the world from base to summit. Majority of the mountain is actually underneath the water. So this mountain is acknowledged and seen as a very, very old sibling and altar for Kanaka Maoli or Native Hawaiian people. And this mountain has been under desecration for years and has currently about 13 telescopes built on the top of this mountain. But this last telescope was one too many and one too big. And so it was a 30-meter telescope, the width of, I think, 4 football fields. And that was a proposal that was actually going to, be moved forward on. And Native Hawaiians really ultimately stood up and gathered and said enough is enough, and put out a global kahea, or a call for people all over the world to stand for this mauna, to stand in protection of this mountain. And at the time I was living in Orlando, Florida, where I grew up, and my mom had just moved to Oahu because she turned 50 and was like, you know what, I'm single, my kids are grown, I'm out. You guys come visit me. And so I was already curious about what's going on in Hawaii. Like, Hawaii is gonna, house my most sacred love, my mother. And was kind of just doing some research on just the dynamics over there outside of paradise. And I witnessed at 2 a.m. Their protocol that they would perform 3 times a day, that consisted of chants, of hula, of prayers. And I had no idea what was being said, what the purpose was. I just broke down into tears because my body, my physical DNA felt the remembrance and the vibration to stand for land in a way that is so sacred and ancient, that has a rhythm and a cadence and a vibration that we as all people of the earth are connected to remembering. And so Hawaii, I moved here, yes, to stand for Mauna Kea, ultimately met my now partner at a protest as he was getting arrested. um, I moved here to really ku'e, to stand and to take up space in conversations. But in my pu'uvai, in my heart, I came and connected to Hawaii to remember my own connection to my culture, my own connection to the people and the stories and the dances and the chants that I come from. And we are so fortunate because we are immersed in a culture that has been miraculously preserved amongst modern day consistent colonization and different things. And so I think Hawaii is a place for me to reciprocate mana back to, because I'm given so much daily in the form of learning chants and learning hula and learning proper prayers and offerings to give the land that is appropriate to the people. And an auntie once told me, she said, don't come to Hawaii and try to save everybody, because that's the first thing that Captain Cook tried to convince us he was going to do. So we have almost like a repulse reaction to that statement. But she said, if you make your body and your presence known consistently in spaces, in places, and around things that matter to Hawaiians, we will start to recognize and acknowledge you as a kia'i, a warrior, a contributor to what matters to us versus what you think should matter to us. And so I share that as an invitation that if there's any aspect of Hawaiian culture that you feel a deep resonance to, but maybe are unsure if it's appropriate for you to learn about, I invite you to show up. And when it's uncomfortable, you show up tomorrow and the next day. And if someone corrects you, like, hey, you mispronounced that word, and it's uncomfortable, you still embrace it and continue to show up, because this Aina shows up for all of us daily. And I feel that speaking to her in a language that she can understand is like speaking to a person you love in a language that they understand. They embrace it a little bit differently. And so that is the culmination of my message in terms of Pono settlership, because that's been my story. I'm still unpacking that every day as someone who is now a mother of a child who is also Hawaiian and Colombian and Korean. It's an ongoing process and journey, but I think it's one that deserves to be explored daily by those of us who are exploring her daily. And so I would like to close with an offering to this Aina and to the spirits that are within this land, but also to you all. This oli is an oli that was written to honor the sun. And we are, we're about to embark on Ku season, which is the summer season. There's only 2 seasons in Hawaii. Lono, which is winter. Ku season is summer. And so I want to give acknowledgement as to why I picked this oli to share, but I also picked this oli to give as an offering to you all, because we are all people of and come from people who deeply connected to the sun and the moon. These planetary guardians of ours, we can all connect to. And so in this chant, I'll share it 3 times. The first is always a little bit softer than the last. And I want you all to close your eyes and really feel and maybe notice what comes up within the Aina around you. If the wind starts to pick up, if you feel the sun all of a sudden shine brighter, that's not my mana. That is us collectively honoring Aina and her giving us honor back and making it very known. And from that point, if you resonate with any of that, I also just leave you with that invitation to explore deeper, to learn this chant, to learn. We have a course going on right now that is around Pono settlership that's a little bit more structured. But just my intention is to leave and to embody my presence as an invitation to explore deeper. So mahalo. Okay. I'm going to stand. Is that okay? I'll just go like this. Okay. I feel like Alicia Keys up here. Okay. So when you hear the word Hanu, we take an inhale and Ha is our exhale. If you feel connected and opening and then placing your body in any way, please feel free to do so. And again, just notice and feel the vibration of this Oli ripple into an aina that it comes from and to a sun that we all are connected to, and see what happens. Mahalo. Emptying out. Hanu. Ha. Hanu. Ha. Hanu. Ha. Kane holani, kane holani, aloha kaua, kauka hoku ho'okahi, hele ki lalalo, aloha kauna kupa kapa kawahine, e wahine lohi au nana I kamakani. E makani lohi au anupu oi o koloe. E kane hualani e, kane hualani e, aloha kaua. Kauka hoku hokahi heli ki lalalo ai. Aloha kamakuku kapa kawahine. E wahine lohi au nana I kamakani. E makani lohi au alupu mai o loko e. E kane hoalani e, kane hoalani e, aloha kaua. Kauka hoku hokahi heli ke lalalo ai. Aloha kamakuku kapa kawahine. E wahine lohi au nana I kamakani. E makani lohi au alupu mai o loko e. Aloha hie, hie, hie. Hanu. Ha. Mahalo ke akua to our source. Mahalo to our makua, our guardians that watch over us. Mahalo to our kupuna, our ancestors of the highest light that surround us in this space. We mahalo you for the opportunity to bow our heads in reverence of this aina, of the aina that we come from, that are connected to us through our veins. May Hawaii stand as a battery source for us to remember, and may we also give her mana and energy to continue on, to flourish. We ask for the invitation of our ancestors of the highest light to dance with us in the oceans as we swim, to whisper wisdom into our ears through this makani, through the winds here. We ask for this place to be preserved and honored as a source for humanity to remember, because we know aloha can heal the world, and it's going to begin in Hawaii first. Mahalo to all of us. May we connect deeply, intentionally, and may we have a beautiful rest of our time this week and our lives here in Hawaii for however long you need us to be here. We say these things in the name of Hawaii, Eola. Amen. 3 claps. One more time. One more time. Eola. Mahalo.
Wow. Right? Thank you, Jasmine. That was beautiful. She just said a little bit about it, and I know we don't usually use this space to plug other things, but I definitely want to say that if you love living in Hawaii, you should consider taking their course. We just signed up last night. We're very excited to dive into the information. And I even just want to say that I have another workshop coming up, and I gave it a name, and the facilitators of the workshop changed the name on me. I called it Ayurveda for Women's Health, and then they called it Ayurveda for Wahine Health. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't say that word. It's not my word. So I love that you're just encouraging us to find the things that we love about Hawaii, and to embrace them and to cherish them and to help them grow and expand. And we are all native to some land. Land is one like water is one. And so let's give back to it what it gives to us. Thank you everybody for coming. Maybe Dr. Lori wants to come up one more time. We have food to share with everybody. Please stick around, mingle, get in each other's energy field, give each other a hug, look each other in the eyes, and just, continue to be the beautiful beings that you are. Thank you for coming.
As I put this microphone away, I just want to say this is absolutely a place to plug other things. We all share what we're doing, and community building is what this is about. So please never be shy about doing that.